What if I told you that impatience is the hidden weakness that makes men break, rulers fall, and empires collapse? We think we lose battles against others, but in truth, most people lose the battle against themselves. Machiavelli knew it. He wrote that the man who cannot govern his own impulses will never govern a kingdom. And in today's world, where everyone is rushing, scrolling, and demanding instant results, the ability to master patience has become the ultimate advantage. In this video, I'm going to share 10 Machiavellian principles of patience. Not soft advice, but hard strategy. You'll learn how to weaponize silence, turn delays into power, gamify self-control, and even anchor every setback to your long-term mission. By the end, you won't see waiting as weakness, you'll see it as domination, because the man who masters patience does not just control time. He controls everyone still enslaved by it. 1. Train the micro-delays. Have you ever noticed how hard it is just to wait? You tap your foot while the kettle boils. You grab your phone before the second ring. You refresh your email like your life depends on it. But here's the truth. Impatience is weakness, disguised as urgency. That's why you must train the micro-delays. Don't wait for life's big tests to teach you patience. Practice it in the smallest daily moments. Let the kettle boil fully before you pour. Let your phone ring twice before answering. Walk slowly instead of rushing. These tiny acts are not about wasting time. They are about training command over time. Machiavelli understood something most people ignore. The ruler who cannot control himself will never control others. He warned that the greatest threats often come not from outside enemies, but from within. Weakness, restlessness, the inability to wait. Think about it. The impatient prince makes reckless decisions. The impulsive man reveals his hand too early. The one who cannot sit with silence loses influence. Impatience exposes you. Patience conceals you, and concealment is power. So what would Machiavelli do? He would not waste energy fighting every impulse. He would weaponize waiting. If he were alive today, he would let the phone ring, so when he finally answered, his words carried weight. He would pause before replying to an email, so the silence worked as leverage. He would let rivals rush ahead, burn themselves out, and reveal their strategies, while he calmly observed. For him, every delay was a test of dominance. Who commands whom, the moment, or me? And here's how you apply it. At home, let the kettle whistle for a few more seconds before you pour. That's not wasted time. It's controlled training. At work, don't reply instantly to every message. Wait, think, then respond with precision. This creates authority. In society, when insulted, pause before reacting. That pause is where you choose power over weakness. Ask yourself, if I can't master waiting in seconds, how will I endure years building an empire? Machiavelli would remind you, the man who masters micro-delays masters himself, and the man who masters himself masters the world.
Hey guys, we're Strategy, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
2. Flip the script on waiting. Most people hate waiting. They see it as wasted time. The restless mind wants to move, wants to scroll, wants to escape. But the truth is this: waiting is not wasted. It's a weapon. The patient person knows something the crowd doesn't. Waiting is training. When everyone else is irritated, tapping their feet, cursing at the traffic light, you are building power. A traffic jam is not an obstacle. It's breathing practice. A line at the grocery store is not wasted time. It's your observation lab. Watch people, study their patterns, notice their impulses. Every pause becomes purposeful. Machiavelli would tell you that fortune favors the man who uses time, not the man who is used by it. The impatient ruler rushes into battles he cannot win. The wise ruler waits, not passively, but with purpose, studying the terrain, watching his rivals, letting enemies reveal themselves first. To him, waiting was never weakness. It was strategy. If he were alive today, Machiavelli would not curse a delay. He would sharpen himself with it. At the airport when a flight is late, he would not fidget. He would scan the faces, read the body language, gather intelligence. While others drowned in boredom, he would be studying human nature. He would turn every pause into an advantage, and you can do the same. Instead of reaching for your phone in every spare moment, use those pauses as training grounds. Slow your breath in traffic. Strengthen your focus while waiting in line. Before a meeting begins, observe the room before you speak. These are not delays. These are drills in discipline. Ask yourself, what if every moment of waiting in your life was not wasted, but an investment? What if the very thing you hated, waiting, was secretly building the patience, the focus, and the presence that others lack? Machiavelli would remind you, the wise man waits with purpose, the fool waits with frustration. And in the end, purpose always wins. 3. Build a frustration journal. Every time you lose patience, you lose power. You snap at someone, you rush a decision, you break under pressure, and in that moment, you are ruled, not ruling. But here's the truth. You cannot master what you refuse to measure. That's why you build a frustration journal. Each time impatience takes over, write it down. What triggered it? What did you feel in your body? Did your chest tighten? Did your voice rise? Did your mind race? Over time, patterns emerge. And once you see the patterns, you can control them. Awareness equals control. Machiavelli warned princes that the most dangerous threats don't come from enemies outside the walls, but from weakness inside them. Betrayal, disloyalty, corruption. These always start within. Your impatience is no different. It is the rebellion inside your own kingdom. A journal exposes the traitors. If he were alive today, Machiavelli would keep records like a spy, not of trivial complaints, but of the exact moments when he cracked. He would study his reactions like he studied his enemies. If he lost composure in negotiation, he would write down the trigger, dissect it, and prepare the counterstrike for next time. His journal would not be therapy, it would be strategy. And you can do the same. At home, when you yell at family over something small, write it. At work, when a colleague gets under your skin, record it. In society, when someone cuts you off in traffic and you erupt, note it down. Over weeks, you will see your weaknesses mapped out in ink. Then comes the power. Because once you know where you break, you can decide not to. You learn to pause, to breathe, to wait. You learn to predict your impatience before it consumes you. Machiavelli would remind you, the ruler who cannot govern himself will never govern others. The journal is not a diary of weakness. It is a logbook of war, your personal intelligence report on the enemy within. 4th, practice reverse time perspective. Impatience thrives in the heat of the moment. Someone disrespects you and your blood surges. A deal gets delayed and you feel cheated. A small obstacle appears and suddenly it feels like war. But here's the truth. Most things you rage about today won't matter tomorrow. That's why you practice what I call the reverse time perspective. When anger rises, when frustration boils, stop and ask yourself, will this matter in 5 hours? Will it matter in 5 days? Will it matter in 5 years? If the answer shrinks, so should your impatience. Machiavelli warned that princes fall when they mistake small inconveniences for existential threats. A ruler who cannot zoom out loses the bigger game. The wise prince, however, thinks in decades, not minutes. He knows the insult of today is dust compared to the empire of tomorrow. If Machiavelli lived in our world, he would laugh at how easily people shatter over delays and slights. He would not waste fury on a lot train or a rude comment online. He would ask, does this weaken my long-term strategy? Does this threaten my future power? If not, he would let it pass, because reacting to every irritation makes you predictable, and predictability is death in politics. And you can do the same. At work, when a colleague undermines you, zoom out. In 5 years, will their opinion matter, or will your track record silence them? In life, when a stranger cuts you off in traffic, ask, does this moment define your destiny, or is it just noise on the path? The answer shrinks, and so does your rage. Reverse time perspective is not about passivity. It's about precision. Save your fire for battles that shape your future, not moments that vanish by nightfall. Machiavelli would remind you, a prince must think not of the hour but of the years. When you zoom out, you stop being a slave to the moment, and you start becoming the master of time. 5. Ruthlessly slow down. 1 routine. We live in a world addicted to speed, fast food, fast scrolling, fast answers. Everyone is rushing, yet no one is arriving anywhere. The modern mind craves instant outcomes, like a starving dog, and that craving is weakness. Because whoever needs speed cannot rule. They can only react. That's why you must ruthlessly slow down 1 routine. Pick 1 daily act and stretch it. Eat your meal slowly. Walk instead of rushing. Take 10 full minutes to sip a coffee. It's not about the food, the walk, or the drink. It's about rewiring your brain to stop begging for instant rewards. Machiavelli knew the appearance of calm was a weapon. The prince who rushes looks desperate. The prince who moves slowly, deliberately, commands respect. Think about it. When you see someone who eats, speaks, and moves without hurry, don't they appear powerful, as if they own time itself? That's not slowness. That's dominance. If he lived today, Machiavelli would not gulp down his meal in front of a glowing screen. He would dine slowly, watching others reveal themselves while he remained composed. He would walk with intention, knowing that in every step, his unhurried pace communicated control. He would sip his wine in silence, letting others stumble over words to fill the void. His stillness would be his strategy, and you can practice the same. At work, stretch the act of writing 1 important email. Read it twice, refine it, and let silence before sending increase its weight. At home, eat your dinner without distractions, noticing every bite. In society, walk slower than the crowd, not because you are weak, but because you refuse to be rushed. Slowing down 1 routine teaches your nervous system that you are not ruled by urgency. You no longer chase instant outcomes. You choose deliberate ones. Machiavelli would remind you, power belongs to the one who can wait when others rush. The man who slows time for himself begins to control it for everyone else. 6. Turn setbacks into patience. Reps. Every obstacle in your life is secretly a training ground. The flight is delayed, the Wi-Fi collapses, the line moves at a snail's pace, and most people explode. They curse, they fume, they show the world they have no control over themselves. But here's the truth. Every frustration is a rep at the gym of patience. Think of it like lifting weights. Each delay is not a punishment. It's resistance training. The more frustrations you lift without breaking, the stronger your patience muscle becomes. Machiavelli admired leaders who turned misfortune into strategy. He praised Cesare Borgia because even when setbacks came, he used them as fuel, not excuses. The weak ruler panics when fortune shifts. The wise ruler sees setbacks as opportunities to prove endurance. Patience is not passive. It is power under pressure. If Machiavelli were alive today, he would never rage at a canceled flight or a failed signal. He would treat them as tests. A delay is a representative. A lost deal is a representative. A betrayal is a heavy rep, but a rep nonetheless. Each time he endured, his control would grow, while others wasted their strength on outbursts. And you can do the same. The next time your Wi-Fi dies, instead of cursing, treat it as training. When someone wastes your time, see it as a patience workout. In traffic, instead of honking, breathe deeper. Another rep. You are not being punished. You are being strengthened. Over time, these small victories build an unshakable core. While the world collapses over minor inconveniences, you will remain calm, collected, untouchable. Machiavelli would remind you, the prince who survives misfortune becomes stronger than the one who has never faced it. Every setback is not an enemy. It's a sparring partner sent to sharpen your control. 7. Observe nature's timelines. Look at the world around you. The seed does not sprout overnight. The moon does not rush its cycle. The sun does not rise faster just because you are impatient. Nature never hurries, and yet it achieves everything. When you align yourself with these natural rhythms, you teach your nervous system the one truth modern society has forgotten. Growth takes time. Power takes time. Legacy takes time. Machiavelli knew this well. He compared ruling to laying foundations, slow, deliberate work that ensures stability for centuries. A prince who tries to rush his victories builds fragile empires that collapse at the first storm. But the one who moves with patience, like nature itself, builds dynasties that endure. If he lived today, Machiavelli would not obsess over instant results. He would plant something and watch it grow. He would study the slow turning of the seasons. He would track the sunrise not for beauty, but for discipline, reminding himself that power comes to those who move with inevitability, not haste. And you can do the same. Plant a seed and watch it rise, inch by inch. Observe the moon's phases, reminding yourself that cycles matter more than moments. Watch a sunrise each morning, not to post it online, but to remind yourself that real change is steady, unstoppable, and beyond your control. Every time you align with nature's timeline, your mind grows calmer, your patience deeper, your strategy clearer. You stop demanding instant transformation and start respecting the process. Machiavelli would remind you, fortune favors the man who builds like nature, slow, steady, inevitable. Learn from the rivers, the trees, the stars. They never rush, yet they always win. 8. Embrace silence as a weapon. When emotions rise, most people rush to speak. They defend, they argue, they blurt out words they later regret. But the wise know that silence is not weakness, it is mastery. A pause before you respond gives you power. Machiavelli warned that the prince must speak rarely, and only with purpose. The ruler who talks too much exposes his hand. The one who holds silence forces others to reveal themselves first. Silence is a weapon sharper than any blade. Think about it. In an argument, the one who pauses controls the tempo. In negotiation, the one who waits makes the other side sweat. In conflict, the one who chooses his words sparingly lands them like arrows. heavier and sharper than a flood of empty noise. If Machiavelli lived today, he would not waste words online or in meetings. He would let others chatter, exposing their vanity and impatience, while he sat silent, observing. And when he did speak, it would cut, because everyone would be listening. His silence would be his stage, and you can do the same. At work, when a heated email arrives, don't fire back. Wait. Let the silence work for you. In arguments, pause before replying. The silence creates tension, and tension creates influence. Even in daily life, speak less. Observe more. The fewer your words, the more weight they carry. Patience in speech equals control in influence. You are not withholding words. You are choosing your moment. Machiavelli would remind you, the prince who governs his tongue governs his fate. Let silence sharpen your power. Speak rarely. Strike deeply. 9. Gamify delayed gratification. Most people lose not because they are weak, but because they cannot wait. They chase quick rewards, instant pleasure, immediate relief. But here's the truth. The man who can delay gratification rules over the man who cannot. So turn patience into a game. Challenge yourself. Don't buy that item until 7 days pass. Don't check your messages for an hour. Don't eat until the clock strikes the time you chose. Every time you win the waiting game, reward yourself. Turn patience into sport, and soon you'll start craving the victories more than the indulgence. Machiavelli would have loved this. He knew men were ruled by two forces, appetite and fear. And the man who disciplines his appetite becomes untouchable. If he lived today, he wouldn't rush to spend his gold or chase every pleasure. He would withhold, wait, and then enjoy not just the prize, but the control it gave him. Imagine a rival who needs constant pleasure, constant distraction, constant reward. Now imagine a ruler who can wait, who can deny himself, who can outlast every urge. Who do you think wins in the long game? The answer is obvious, and you can train this daily. Don't grab your phone the moment it pings. Don't eat the second you're hungry. Don't buy the shiny object the moment you see it. Each delay is a small battle, and each victory makes you stronger. Machiavelli would remind you, the one who masters desire masters men. By gamifying patience, you transform it from a chore into a weapon. Every time you win the game of waiting, you sharpen your control, and control is power. 10. Anchor to the bigger mission. Impatience thrives when you forget the long game. You get restless over small delays, angry at minor setbacks, frustrated when things don't move fast enough. But here's the truth. If your mission is decades long, what's a few weeks of waiting? Tie every delay back to your empire, your legacy, your dream. If you are building something meant to last 10 or 20 years, why would you waste energy raging over a single obstacle today? Patience stops being passive. It becomes strategy. Machiavelli knew this better than anyone. He wrote not for the next day, but for the next century. He reminded rulers that the state was greater than their personal irritations, that the foundation of power had to be built stone by stone, year by year. The prince who thinks only of today falls. The prince who thinks of the long game endures. If he lived in our world, Machiavelli would not lose himself in petty frustrations. He would anchor every decision, every wait, every silence to his greater mission. If his empire was 20 years in the making, then delays were not defeats. They were simply part of the design. Every pause, every setback, every test of patience was fuel for endurance. And you can do the same. When the meeting drags, remind yourself it's only a minute in the life of your mission. When your project is delayed, see it as a test of your long-term vision. When life makes you wait, remember, The man with the bigger mission is never truly delayed. He is simply preparing. Machiavelli would remind you, greatness is not measured by speed, but by endurance. Anchor yourself to your mission, and impatience dies. What is a few weeks to a man building an empire? Nothing. Because the one who remembers the long game always wins.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the original books and resources we used today. We'll see you in the next one.